Levels, levels.
Levels, levels.
Okay, so I've got a new cold open plan here for this week. What if we review the rundown for the toddlers to give them an idea of what's coming up on the show?
Wait, we have a rundown?
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Oh, is that what I'm supposed to be looking at?
you
Sorry.
wouldn't know it.
Wait, yeah. So we haven't done that before. Do you think it'll help people stick around to the end?
Well, I don't know. It's worth a shot.
Sure. All right. What do we got?
Okay, so this week in stupid 80s song lyrics, we're going to examine Unskinny Bop by Poison.
Okay. We started that last week, and I don't think that's going to be a very good idea for like 17 different reasons.
Okay. What if we do Vegas, not Vegas, Copa style? Something that I'm calling goal, not a goal.
Okay. All right. Look. Even if it was a goal, and it probably was, it still wouldn't have mattered. Mostly because the referee would have signaled it was an extra point. I don't know. Anyway, we can probably skip that one.
Okay. Well, what if we do provide a movie review of Bad Boys Ride or Die?
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. Is that the movie with George Wendt and Demi Moore?
if you're reading Apple News Plus, it is.
Yeah. Looking at that, I'm not sure we're going to cover any of those stories.
Well, then what are we going to do for the show?
Well, I'm sure we're going to I'm sure we will find a way to fill, I'm guessing, probably 59 to 61 minutes.
We always seem to. Hi, toddlers. Welcome to Talking to Todd, a weekly podcast with Dewayne Johnson and Todd Prinz, where failure is always an option. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. Apparently, alternating Dewayne Todd is more than I can handle for about 6 or 7 lines. Jeez. You had one job, Todd. You had one job.
Well, when we start ad-libbing in the middle, then you got to figure out how to get back to the script.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, yes. Doing great.
Should we try this rundown? See how it goes?
Let's try the rundown we now have. Yes, because there's quite a bit there. Why don't we try that one?
Okay. Feedback, follow-up, and updates.
Yep.
From toddler number 1. You said, I've played Trivial Pursuit before. I know the answer to one of these questions. Amy, from the truck. Thanks, Lowell. At which point you said, thanks, Lowell. And I said, thanks, Lowell.
Hi, Bob.
That's what it's there for. She played along on the Raiders' Shack Attack. I don't think that's right.
Yes. Sure.
Whatever. She hit 20 grand on the nose. She was a big winner. And I'm gonna alternate here. Doug from the Idiot Toddlers.
Yeah.
Harry Carey is a saint and lived during a simpler time as a simpler man. Go Cubs, go. Now, I will follow that with Amy's feedback of her absolute favorite Harry Carey line. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
They showed a couple in the crowd.
Oh, yes. Dang it. Okay, I should have just said yes and we moved on. Please, go ahead.
He's kissing her on the strikes. Yep, you can fill in the rest of it yourself. That is her favorite inappropriate Harry Carey line.
Not a lot of standards and practices at WGN in the early to mid 80s.
Oh, there were practices. There were just no standards. Let's see. Also from Doug, we refuse to cover the Haktua girl. Apparently, we're now talking to Mormons. Oh, maybe he meant Amish. I don't know. B, there are no time for jokes with Todd. Only time for real life corrections. I laughed so hard. I laughed during the edit. I laughed during the listen. LG is South Korean. Sony is Japanese. Oh my God. Uh-huh. And then lastly, you redeemed yourself with the AI joke. So good on you.
I try to bring something at the table.
We had lunch with Toddler 401k this week.
Yeah.
And you know how you renew every year, annually, whatever. And you said how this year we're going to need a dowel rider
On your financial plan. Yeah.
on the financial plan. Well, we opted out of the dowel rider. Do you know why? Because Danny said he wouldn't sign it. There you go.
Yeah. I just assumed it wasn't part of the package, and you were going to have to go to Home Depot to go find one yourself.
Had to make them.
Yeah. Cut it to length. Yep.
Yep. Anything from you? Did you catch anything?
No, nothing on our side.
No.
We're a little behind.
Okay.
We're a little behind on listening because apparently, as the heat increases, the number of times leaving the house is decreasing, and so there hasn't been a lot of, as you would call it, windshield time. So we haven't gotten through much.
Okay, because I'm anticipating some sugar feedback from Lisa.
Oh yeah, I need to point that out. I should have some feedback for you about 55 minutes after I give her that feedback. Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what I was anticipating. So, do we have any
actually
this week?
Well, I know I brought one.
Okay.
At the end of last week's show, I may have made fun of Tom Wopat.
May have?
And his musical theater career. May have. Well, I tried to make a joke. You never know if they're going to be successful or not. Apparently, joke's on me. because Tom Wopat is an award-winning and multiple nominee for his musical theater talent. This could have been in what I learned this week. However,
certainly what I learned this week. What the hell?
Yeah. So Luke Duke, just to go through his nominations, he was nominated in 1999 for a Tony for Best Actor in a Musical for
Really?
Annie Get Your Gun. In 2008, he was also a Tony nominee for Best Actor in a Musical for A Catered Affair. He was in 1999 a nominee for the Outer Critics Circle, also for Outstanding Actor in a Musical for Annie Get Your Gun. And the Drama Desk Awards, 1999, Outstanding Actor in a Musical, Annie Get Your Gun. Apparently, that's if you want to see something, you got to see Tom Wopat in Annie Get Your Gun because he's nominated. It's one of the top 5. It's not the number 1, but he's up there. 2005, Outstanding Ensemble Performance for Glengarry Glen Ross. He won a Drama Desk Award for being part of that ensemble, which, you know what that means? He gets coffee. 2008, again, Drama Desk Award. 2008, Outstanding Featured Actor in a Musical for A Catered Affair was a nominee. And he was also in 2011 nominated for a Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Featured Actor in a Musical for Catch Me If You Can. So, okay. Well, congratulations, Tom. Sorry for the whole Boise touring production thing. Whoops.
I mean, it's still Luke Duke. Lou Diamond Phillips came to town with the national touring production of The King and I. Maybe Camelot.
Camelot. Okay. I was going to say The King and I. That's the Richard Petty story. Nope.
The other. That's
the other. The other one.
The other The King and I.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Often confused.
Yeah. Yep. Similar plots.
But
you're going to need to put in a half a pound of wedge. Which one did that one come from? Sorry, please, Lou Diamond Phillips. I
couldn't watch Lou Diamond Phillips as King Arthur because I kept seeing Richie Valens. It was just totally, I'm like, he is fixed in my mind as Richie Valens, and that's it. Anything I've ever seen him in since, sorry, it's just where it is.
How about you? Any unactuallys on your side?
There was quite the conversation online about everybody was lizard fighting.
It was a group project. I believe.
It was a group project between 401k, toddler number 2, and me, and I believe Yvonne may have chimed in. So group work there. Sadly, we did not say everybody was lizard fighting during the show, so we couldn't make it the show title, even though it desperately needed to be. So I just hope that everybody, when they read that everybody was lizard fighting, they read it as everybody was lizard fighting. Because I certainly did.
Yeah. I hear it was a little frightening.
Just a little bit. It was a little bit. Let's see. How about some follow-up?
Oh my goodness, we got a ton of follow-up.
I've got a little bit of Royce White news.
Oh my god. I went back and I heard, I was going back because we're trying to catch up, and it was the episode where I introduced it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself out loud, I was the only one there. Don't do this. Just don't. Like, you have no idea what you're opening.
The havoc you have wreaked upon this podcast.
Yep.
So this was published by Axios Twin Cities on June 27th. As he runs for U.S. Senate, Royce White is asking Minnesota voters to do something he has repeatedly failed to do himself, which is cast a ballot. In fact, his voter profile, according to the Minnesota Secretary of State, shows that he has voted in Minnesota just once in the 2020 general election, which means he didn't even cast a ballot for himself in his own failed campaign to be the GOP nominee in 2022. When he ran in the primary 2 years ago, he didn't even vote for himself. I'm asking for your vote. Hey, frankly, I'm asking for my vote.
I'm still on the fence.
I really don't know here.
I thought you were going to say the only time he's voted on record is placement of water fountains in Minneapolis, St. Paul. That was the one that he really cared about.
Good on you, Royce. Keep it up. I'm sure we'll be back next week with more. I hope we aren't. I truly hope we aren't.
At this point, I don't know how we're not.
But I'm pretty sure we're going to be.
Yeah.
Thank you to Todd and to Jake for continuing the drumbeat of the Royce White news. What else we got in follow-up?
Speaking of people that we continue talking about, even though we don't want to, a couple of weeks ago, we pointed out how Aaron Rodgers skipped mandatory minicamp.
He skipped mandatory?
Yes.
I'm not familiar with that word. What does that mean?
Well, he was supposed to be there
Oh, okay.
per contract, and he just didn't make it. The coach basically said, we're aware that he wasn't going to be here. And then there was sort of like, was that an excused? And it was like, well, we were aware. Like, we were informed out of per SNY TV's Connor Hughes. The reason why Aaron couldn't make it to mandatory minicamp, again, he didn't play. He played 3 snaps last year. You might want to knock a little bit of the rust off. The reason why is because he had scheduled a trip to Egypt during the week of mandatory minicamp. So he informed them that he would be going to Egypt instead of reporting to work. So anyway.
Can you take PTO for that?
Yeah. Anyway. Hey, bud, listen. We need you here 1 week in these 6 months. Oh, what are the odds that I scheduled a trip? I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at the calendar. Holy cow. Wow. That mandatory training camp just sneaks up on you quicker.
It really does. Yeah. What else you got? What else?
Want to wish you a happy Bobby Bonilla Day. That happened this week.
Yeah. Keeps coming around faster and faster every year.
Yep. He's still got another 10 or 11 years on this contract where he gets paid $1.19 million on July 1st every year. So congratulations to Bobby for doing his thing, or in this case, not doing his thing.
A couple of weeks ago, we discussed how in the middle of an in-game interview with Apple TV that the Dodgers third baseman was being interviewed when the ball was hit to him and he committed an error.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah. So Houston Astros shortstop Jeremy Pena was being interviewed right before New York's Jeff McNeil popped up towards the shortstop area with 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. Pena was shaded towards the second base bag and ranged to his right. In the middle of the interview, as the ball hits in the air, Pena says, "Holy sh!" And and the ball bounced in front of him before he grabbed it and tossed it back to the infield. McNeil was credited with a hit and then was picked off from first base by the pitcher. Anyway, yeah, this isn't getting any better. They're now actively messing with the game. And again, every player who agrees to do this gets $10,000 if they do this in the regular season and $15,000 during the playoffs. So at some point, we're just going to have to switch this from individual stories to a tally board. Oh,
yes.
You know, we could do the errors caused by Apple TV interviews in the middle of a game versus the Russell Wilson's toilets in his house in Denver that he sold. Why? I don't know.
Well, was there an error in the game this week? Was there an error in the headline this week? It's all Apple. Yeah. Looking at the rundown, it looks like we've got another error in there. Oh, sweet Lord. Okay, so we hit on both of these this week. Amy, Amy and I were both working at home earlier this week, and she comes popping up the stairs and ducks her head into my office and says, "Hey, just got off the phone with our IT service provider. We're getting new hardware for the office." Really? Yep. Guess what's coming? New WAPs. Are they better than the old WAPs?
Did she send out an email informing everybody?
Not yet, but I'm sure there's going to be one. We'll see if we can perhaps provide some guidance there, because this has been fodder for at least 2 years now, and it doesn't get old.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking at this point, she may have to create like a separate email account just for WAP info at lessingflynn.com. Just, you're going to want to not open that one to the internet. I'm going to be honest. That's an internal email only.
I was trying to figure out why the old ones were being replaced.
No, I'm not going there. No, I'm going there. No, I'm not going to play with you in that space. No.
I gave you the opportunity.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Sometimes the best way to play is to refuse to play.
There are no winners here.
We covered we've surprisingly covered different places that are dependent upon floppy disks in the world, including Japan
and Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, and Muni in San Francisco.
Yes.
So in Japan, Digital Minister Taro Kano announced that we have won the war on floppy disks on June 28th. They have finally eliminated the digital agency has scrapped all 1,034 regulations governing their use, except for one environmental stricture related to vehicle recycling. So I don't know, like we've won all of them almost. What? Anyway, so floppy disks are almost no longer mandated in Japan. And then since we got all of this other follow-up, we have some Brett Favre follow-up.
Oh, This Week in Favre? We haven't played this in a long time.
Yeah. So quick recap. All of this stuff with Brett Favre came out partially because Anna Wolf, who was a reporter, started digging into the entire Mississippi welfare issue. Right. She started with the why is 8 out of 10 applicants for welfare in Mississippi are denied claims when we're getting millions and millions of dollars of federal funding. So she started digging into all of this to figure out where all of the money was going. And eventually, yes, she found out that most of the federal money was being siphoned off through the governor's office, apparently. And money went to build a volleyball facility, and money went to Brett Favre for speeches he never gave. And money also went to invest in a pharmaceutical company in Florida that Brett Favre was attached to. Anyway, so this has all come out, and there's been investigations. But to this point, even though this is $77 million worth of federal welfare funds may have been misappropriated through this entire thing, investigations continue, and nobody's gone to jail over any of this. However, that might change in the next week. The person who is facing jail time is Anna Wolf, the reporter who uncovered this. The state's former governor has sued her for defamation, and he is demanding that she turn over all of her sources.
Nope.
And she said, I'm a journalist. I'm going to protect my sources. And the former governor is now trying to get her thrown in jail for contempt of court for refusing to turn over her sources. So right now, the only person facing any type of jail time is the reporter that covered it. And everybody who misappropriated the money, some who did and others allegedly, yeah, they're fine. So things are going great in Favre land.
God. Sounds like we're going to have an update here too. I thought we were done. God, I thought we were done covering this story.
I did too. I will say the only thing that makes me feel better about this story is everybody was up in arms because Aaron Rodgers went to Egypt. Like, Oh, that's cute, Aaron. You're still second place to Brett. You're second place as a quarterback, and you're also second place as whatever this is.
Lunatic.
Anyway, there you go. They're not all the follow-ups are great.
Can we do a couple of quick hitters in Todd's Tech Corner as
Sure.
presented by the Taylor Center for Technology Policy?
Yes.
We nearly had a disaster this week. And by that, I mean, I had no internet in my house for almost 48 hours. And Todd almost had to produce and edit and publish this week's pod.
What's that button again? How'd you label that? I don't.
Luckily, CenturyLink is awesome and restored our service. We were supposed to be down for 9 days, and we were only down for 48 hours. The reason we were down, and like all of Norwalk and Cumming, for CenturyLink was down, was because the competitor was digging holes and putting in their own fiber.
Yep.
And cut the CenturyLink fiber.
Yep.
Like the main one.
Okay.
It's one way to cut out the competition.
It is. Followed quickly by people going door to door. Hey, is your internet out? Would you like internet that's much more reliable? What? Is that a backhoe on the back of your truck? No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll just, if you work in IT, fiber cuts are terrible because there's nothing you can do about it. Fiber cuts happen. You lose internet. I had to deal with that more times than I care to admit because, like, fiber just gets cut. That said, if you're an internet service provider, two connections, redundant.
Right?
Not necessarily to your house, but if you're like, this is the building that provides the internet for a city or two, and maybe we should put and by the way, when you do that, just real clear, just so don't put them both in the same trench. That doesn't help anybody.
That's doing no one any good.
Other side of the building going the other way. Wow. Okay.
So I will not be switching to MetroNet anytime soon.
No, but if you need anything dug up in your backyard, you know who to call.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Idiots. That's not my idiot of the week, but boy, they were close. And then we got a request for assistance from Toddler 401k this week, which I also threw into Todd's Tech Corner. He asked they were looking at buying one of the new M3 MacBook Airs.
Yes.
And his question was, is the M3 chip worth the extra $100 over the MacBook Air with just the M2 chip? And which we answered and you said, you know what? No, not really. I said for $100, meh. If it extends the life of your machine, maybe. But so we differed a little bit there. But what we didn't talk about, and my question to you here was, if she's not a heavy user, could the answer here be an iPad Pro with a keyboard in 50 words or less?
Probably not.
Okay.
And
because?
Well, first of all, you're going to spend more money on an iPad Pro and a keyboard than you would on the MacBook Air.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. Yes.
So that's number one. Number two, there are some specific things that even though that the iPad has the M4 chip in it and can do all of these wonderful things, it is severely constrained on what it can do by iPad OS. And one of the things, most of it, there started to be edge cases. You can't do multiple audio sources like you can on a computer, which probably not a problem unless you're trying to run a podcast. You can't have a program running in the background and do something else in the foreground, which probably isn't a problem unless, of course, you're running Final Cut Pro and wanting to render a movie. And as soon as you then click on to do web browsing, your render stops because it doesn't know how to use it. Again, edge case. Biggest edge case, though, is Safari on the iPad comes from Safari on the iPhone, which is different than Safari on the Mac. The mobile Safari doesn't work on some sites as well.
Sure.
You may have noticed you're using an iPad and you go to fill out a form and it just won't work. They have a button that says request desktop site.
Yes.
I think that's like a light switch that isn't wired to anything that just makes you like, I don't think it does anything. So even if you are
remember the old Stephen Wright joke? I moved into my apartment, there was a light switch that didn't do anything. I just turned it off and on occasionally. About a year later, I got a letter from a lady in Germany.
Knock it off.
Telling me to knock it off.
Yeah.
Sorry. Total non sequitur. Go ahead.
So if you just use your computer or the iPad to browse the web and do stuff web-based, it is entirely possible, however, that there are things that you just can't do on the iPad that you have to then use a Mac for. And it's ridiculous that Apple hasn't fixed any of that. But so yeah, I wouldn't necessarily go that direction.
Okay. So the answer to the question, could the answer here be an iPad?
I mean,
no. Well, I mean, yeah, I suppose it could be.
It could. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't. What's the headline test? The answer is no. If the headline is a question, the answer is no. Okay.
No, I will say, by the way, just real quick. I mean, the one advantage to your point, if you go with an iPad with a keyboard, even if it is more expensive, I mean, the good news is you do get to separate the screen from the keyboard, so you have a lighter weight device. Now, you can't really do that with your MacBook Air. Technically, you can do it one time. One time you can do that.
It's true.
You're going to want to get Apple Care.
Can you make the monitor fold back on itself onto the back of the key? Yeah, no.
If you put enough force, yep.
So looking at the midway.
Is it the midway or is it game time?
I don't know.
What time is it? Game time. Boom.
This week, I guess it's game time. Amy really liked the game time.
Was she pushing for it? Was she pushing for it?
No, she was just helping it in that direction. It was already moving that direction. Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right.
But it seems to be time for this, though.
It's not fair to deny me all the cross-eyed men. I check it to me. You ought to know.
Do you know who that song is written about?
Yeah, it's Dave Coulee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That may be the thing you learned this week, toddlers. If you didn't know that already.
Yeah. Oh, I think everybody. I think that's a well. I think everybody knows that.
Is that Uncle Joey from Full House?
It could. Yeah.
Not Uncle Jesse. The other one. Anyway,
yeah, the other one.
Not Danny Tanner. Yeah.
Yeah. So just want to cut that out.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's see, where are we at? All-star voting for the WNBA. So the thing that Todd ought to know this week, how many votes did Caitlin Clark get? She was the number one vote getter in 2024. How many votes did Caitlin Clark get this year?
Oh, I know this. More than everybody else.
That it's not wrong.
It's not right, but it's not wrong.
It wasn't what I was looking for, but it's not wrong.
You know what? I have no idea how many people are voting. I'm assuming they got more votes this year, not just because of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. Everything in the WNBA is so much bigger this year.
Angel Reese was 5th in the voting, and she got 381,518 votes.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's more. Okay, so what is clear is all of these players are getting a hell of a lot more votes than they're getting dollars on their contract for playing the game. Okay. I will say 750,000.
700,735, which I can almost guarantee you wouldn't have gotten had I not given you the hint.
Nope. Oh, no. I know, nowhere. I may have been off by a magnitude, quite frankly. I was thinking 200K, 200,000 maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so with that context,
Yes.
going back to 2023,
Oh, okay.
Aja Wilson
Yeah.
was the top vote getter in the
Yes.
WNBA.
Yes.
How many votes did she get?
150,000.
95,860. There is, like her, don't like her, there is absolutely a Caitlin Clark effect.
I will say this. There is a Caitlin Clark effect that includes the other, again, do you get Caitlin Clark where she's at without Angel Reese? Right? Like yes, she's popular.
Yes.
But then having the nemesis in college, right?
Mhm.
Like, and to be clear, right? It doesn't hurt. In some circles, Caitlin's the hero of that story. And in some cases, she's the villain of that story, as long as you're watching.
We don't care.
As long as you're watching.
So last year, Wilson got 95,860 votes. Do you know how many votes she got this year?
550,000.
607,300. More people are watching. More people are watching more than just Caitlin.
Yes.
But they're overwhelmingly watching Caitlin. Did you see the stat a couple of weeks ago? There was, I don't know, Angel Reese said something about how, yeah. I mean, yeah, everybody's watching Caitlin, but everybody's watching everybody else too. Viewership or like attendance. Attendance at Caitlin Clark's games are averaging over 20,000, and attendance at the rest of the league is averaging under 10. So, yes, and attendance is up league-wide, but it's still, anyway, FYI, if I didn't know this until today, the WNBA All-Star team
Yep.
is going to play the Team USA team, the national team, of which both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese were left off of.
Yes.
So there may be some friction. At least there's going to be some manufactured friction in order to generate viewership for the WNBA All-Star game. Anyway, I can't believe we're talking about Caitlin Clark on this podcast. I'm probably going to get some grief for that. If not from my wife, definitely from my son. Anyway, here we are.
The trick for the WNBA now is figuring out a way to take that attention that has primarily been brought in by one person and some others, but mostly by one person, take that and turn it into interest in the overall league and grow, because otherwise you're way dependent upon a single person. So, this is which you can make an interesting case, right? There was hey, did Tiger change golf? And then the first time Tiger And the second time Tiger stopped playing. Anyway, when Tiger went away, the crowds went away. And it's like, oh, wait, do we have golf fans or do we have Tiger fans, right? And that's where the WNBA needs to make sure that they leverage, which is also why having head-to-head matchups is great, because you're trying to develop more people.
That's a great analogy. The one that I made was the McGuire-Sosa home run battle that brought people back to baseball after
Wasn't that sponsored by was that sponsored by Minute Maid?
No, it was
different juice. Sorry, different juice. Sorry, I interrupted. Please continue.
I was going to say it was sponsored by Pfizer, but you beat me to a much better joke. that was the comparison that I made, was them bringing baseball back after nobody wanted to watch baseball after the strike. And did they capitalize on it and bring back fans? Yes, I think they did. But that Tiger analogy is a good one as well.
Yeah. That's what people come here for, is golf analogies. Oh, man. Okay.
Let's see. What else we got here in game time? With us, not with us. You brought something?
Yeah. So speaking of last week of Tom Wopat, I decided, hey, you know what we should do? Let's play With Us, Not With Us, Dukes of Hazzard edition.
Oh, shit.
Okay. This may not be as difficult as you think it's going to be. Or is it? Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So we're just gonna go through the main cast here. We're starting with we started with Tom Wopat.
With us.
According, by the way, using the source of all truth and knowledge, which whatever. Yes.
Don't sort it by dates.
Yeah.
Just going to warn you,
yeah.
We had that experience.
Oh, luckily, I'm just using dates in this entire thing, so that'll be great. Yes, you are correct. Tom Wopat is still with us.
Okay.
Bo Duke, John Schneider.
Also still with us?
He is still with us.
I'm not as confident in that one. You can hear it in my voice.
Yes. By the way, interesting enough, Tom Wopat is 72. John Schneider is 64. So
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Daisy Duke, Catherine Bach.
Still with us.
70 years old, still with us.
Okay.
All right. Let's go with Jesse Duke, Uncle Jesse. Played by?
Nope, no help.
Denver Pyle.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Denver Pyle. Not with us. He was old when the show was on.
He is not with us. He died at the age of 77 in 1997. All right. How about Boss Hogg?
That's
played by
Sorrel.
Yep.
Booth? Is that right?
Book.
Book.
Booke.
I think also not with us.
That is correct. He passed away in 1994 at the age of 64.
Okay, I'm 5 for 5. So far, so good.
Okay. As long as we're there with Boss Hogg, how about Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane?
Coo, 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 coo. Still with us?
Oh, and the streak gets broken.
Oh.
He was played by James Best, who died in 2015 at the age of 88.
Oh, okay. That would have put him well into the okay.
Along with Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane was the Deputy Enos.
He was younger. He might still be with us.
Played by Sonny Schroyer.
Yes.
He is still with us.
He wasn't exactly with us when he was on the show, but okay.
However, you were like, he was pretty young then. He's 88 years old.
No, get out. Good for him.
Yeah. Former, how about...
Cooter? Are we going to do Cooter next week? Yay!
Yep.
I think Cooter is not with us. For some reason, I want to say Cooter is not with us.
Ben Jones, former congressman, is still with us at 82 years old.
Well, not bad. I mean, I did well enough to win the batting title.
Let me see here if we've got anything else. Nope, we're not doing the replacement Dukes. Nope.
Yes, I recognize that there were replacement Dukes, but that didn't exist in my mind.
No, that's an alternate universe post-snap kind of thing.
Yeah.
The last person here, the last main person here from the cast, the Balladeer.
Oh, that's Waylon Jennings.
Yes.
Still with us?
Waylon Jennings, this will surprise you, is not with us. He died in 2002 at the age of 64 years. 64 years old. It turns out all that clean living of outlaw country may have caught up with him. Okay. Overall, however, man, you did pretty good. You did pretty good.
I know my Dukes. I guess. Did we also are we playing guess the headline again? Did you bring me another Bad Boys picture?
Well, here you tell me.
Oh, this is a picture from The Bear. I recognize those people because the new season dropped this week. We have not started watching it yet.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a hint on this one because this one I put in the notes. You're never gonna get this.
Okay.
This is not two people. This is one person.
The headline is
headline refers to a single person, which is why they use two. They use two people from The Bear.
Let's see. How about new Walter Payton statue unveiled in Chicago? It's a Chicago story. That's a bear.
You put more thought into it than the person who picked this photo for this headline. What I will tell you is this is not a bad boy's photo, but it is a bad boy headline.
American Ninja Warrior champion Drew Dressel sentenced to jail for child sex crimes. It makes sweet Lord.
Jeremy Allen White his lawyers may want to have a conversation about using his picture with a headline said sex crimes. You got to be real careful with those people. We've talked about this. Kevin, you can't do this, bud. Not ours, the other one.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Should we do some idiots quick?
We should probably go quickly. Yes.
So I'm bringing three options this week.
Yep.
3 headlines. Bill, come back here.
Okay.
Option 2, hell to pay.
Yep.
And option 3, major catastrophe.
I'm curious about number 3.
Spoiler alert. All 3 of those headlines are for the same story. This hit my feed this week.
Pick the door you want. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. This is the story we're doing. Right? So, this hit my feed this week. This is actually from 1968. And it was a memo from Desilu Productions to Gene Roddenberry from Bob Justman. February 5th, 1968. Subject, missing hair goods. Gene, if you haven't already heard about it, we're missing some wigs and hair pieces. This is from Star Trek. Bill Shatner borrowed all 4 of his hair pieces when we finished shooting. There are 2 new ones and 2 old ones. The new ones are worth approximately $200 a piece. Again, 1968. And the 2 old ones are worth approximately $100 a piece. Should Star Trek go again next season, this no doubt means we will have to construct new hair pieces. Blah, blah, blah. The new ones, to such an extent, they will not be. He's done this before, and we've had to replace them before. This, I guarantee, since this has happened to us before. Majel Barrett's wig has also disappeared. Nobody, including Majel, knows what happened to it. This he sent to Gene about his wife. Lastly, Nicole Nichols' wig has also disappeared. She borrowed it when she finished working and claims that she returned it, but neither Freddie nor Pat Westmore know anything about it being returned. The last line, oh my God. That takes us up to here on missing hair goods. Regards, Bob. Are you kidding me with this? Yes, yeah, I recognize this was 1968. It's not idiots of this week, but it's definitely idiots of some week.
I can guarantee you at some point, the last thing Bob wanted to do was have, I'm assuming in 1968, his secretary type up a note, type up a letter and have to mail it about this. And yet went, well, what I also find interesting is this is where we are currently with the hairpiece situation. Like, look, there's going to be follow-up. There's going to be follow-up. Like, this is just this week's stats.
Denise, can you come take a memo? Because you know what happened. Oh God. I thought it was friggin' hilarious. How about you? What'd you bring for idiots? Hopefully something more recent than 1968.
Yes, something that hasn't happened yet, but it's still an idiot. Dewayne, I know we played With Us, Not With Us. Quick question. Al Michaels, with us or not with us?
I saw this story. Still with us.
He is still with us. Yes. However, NBC has announced that they're going to have an AI that has been trained to sound like Al Michaels do a nightly recap of the highlights of the Olympics coming up here at the end of the month. And everybody pretty much had the same question or statement in question. You know, Al's still with us, right? You could just have him read it. What? Why are we doing this?
Yes. Do you believe in AI?
I mean, is the AI going to be able to make snide behind this sort of the double entendre for betting conversations about, well, he went over the bar, but I'm sure a few people went under.
I'm betting the AI won't do, and perhaps that is, I think you may have found the reason for the AI, Todd.
I'm just saying, he's still with us. You don't need AI. Just give him the check. Oh my goodness. Anyway, yes. So imagine who we could bring back from the dead, like Al Michaels. I'm still here. Nope. Don't need to worry about that.
Did you watch anything good? Did you watch Al Michaels?
No. Did not. We've watched about the first half of season 3 of The Bear. So we're working our way through The Bear. So yes, it's a good show. It's a good show. It is worth the time to watch. I will say this: there's a bunch of articles coming out now talking about, oh, The Bear is not a good show. It's lost its way. This is what it's like. Look, not everything's for everybody. If you watch the first 2 seasons and you're like, this show isn't like any other show I've seen. It continues to be like unlike any other show you've seen. I think it is still well worth the time. But your mileage may vary. How about you? What have you been watching?
We started watching Presumed Innocent on Apple TV Plus, on Apple TV.
Yes.
It has been a long time since I read the book, and almost as long a time since I saw the Harrison Ford version of the movie.
Yes.
It's intense. It's very, very well acted. Have you started this yet?
No, we have not. But I've heard incredibly good things about it.
Yep. Jake Gyllenhaal is fantastic. I almost wish I had waited until it comes all the way out so that I can just sit and watch it in the entire weekend and just watch the thing from start to finish. Because we're watching it as it comes out every Wednesday night. I'm like, In fact, somebody's waiting for me right now for us to finish.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'll say though. Like on really intense shows, it might be better that they drop once a week. Like with The Bear, even though they're all out, like our maximum dosage is 2 episodes a night because we're just on edge afterwards. Like you're just like, I need a break. I need a break from that world because I need to go outside and walk around.
Handmaid's Tale was like that. We couldn't watch more than 1, maybe 2 of those. Depending on the episode, you might be able to watch 2 of those. And then we also, as we were flipping channel, when we were without internet and having to watch whatever we could find over the air on the antenna.
Yeah.
We found something called zombie house flipping.
Really want to know where the comma is in there, but okay.
That's why we watched, because we saw the headline on the screen saying zombie house flipping. I'm like, are zombies flipping the houses?
Do you know what this kitchen needs? Brains. No, I was gonna say a new hood. Brains. Okay, well, sure. It's not going to increase the retail value, but
Why are there bars on all these windows? It's a zombie house. Is that to keep them out? I don't know. You figure it out. Oh. I'm sorry, I totally lost it. Oh. Did you learn anything this week?
Yeah, real quick. It's getting hot here in the undisclosed location. It was 108 today, and it may be 115 to 116 by next Tuesday or Wednesday. Interesting conversation I had with Lisa this morning was, it's going to be getting real hot. And of course, the danger once you get to 110, 112, 115 is what you really don't want is like the power grid to be overwhelmed or, melt. And so I said, what I think I should probably do is I should go in and maybe we shouldn't use as much of our batteries during the day that we use. Well, at the end of the day to save on our electric bill. I said, it's going to cost us a couple of dollars more a day, but maybe I should make sure we have more batteries just in case. And she's like, yeah, it's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
An hour later, the phone popped up with a note that said that the National Weather Service has issued an extreme heat warning for our area. And because that is considered a weather warning, our system has now put itself into storm mode, which means it doesn't use it charges the batteries up to 100% and then doesn't use the batteries at all. So that you are prepared for a weather event. Now, this is super helpful for, like a windstorm or, like a blizzard, which we don't have to worry about. But what I learned this week was maybe I don't need to worry about this. Maybe the system knows what it's doing. Just don't worry, buddy. I got you. I'm on it. You'll still have your air conditioning. You're fine. So either that or the app is listening to me and it's like, oh yeah, that's probably a pretty good idea. Wait, who said that? Sorry, what? Who? Who said what? How about you? What'd you learn?
So I got an email this week inviting me to join the Wells Fargo Alumni Network. Continue your journey with the Wells Fargo Alumni Network. Find inspiration for the long term. Join the Wells Fargo Alumni Network. Y'all, I left for a reason. Here's the thing. Do you know what I say about our class reunions? One of which is coming up on Friday night.
Is there an open bar?
That's the second thing that I say.
Okay, all right.
The first, and the answer is always no. Actually, this year there's not really a class reunion. It's just, hey, anybody that's going to be around.
It's 6 people at Riverbend Rally.
It's just, hey, meet at the beer garden, and we'll have because nobody wanted to plan it, because anybody that plans it says it's the biggest pain in the ass they've ever encountered. So this year, somebody said, well, Riverbend Rally's going on. What if we all just meet at the beer garden and make that our reunion? So apparently that's going to be a thing. Whatever. What I normally say about our class reunions is anybody that I want to be able to get a hold of me knows how to get a hold of me. That's how I feel about the Wells Fargo Alumni Network. Anybody from that era of my life that I want to get in contact with or stay in contact with, I'm good. I got my own network. I think I'm fine.
Here's the thing. 2 thoughts pop in my head. Number 1, you should check it out, because I do hear that you can get a discounted Chase credit card through the Wells Fargo Alumni Association. So you could see if you can get a good discount. Second item.
B.
Are you sure that that's not just sponsored by the Department of Justice? Hey, do you want to come down, hang out, tell some old stories? We have an open bar.
The music is Happy Boy by Kevin MacLeod. You can subscribe to our award-winning podcast with visiting solar expert Todd Prinz. Wherever you get your pods, just search Talkin' and the number 2. There's no G and no space. Stop by and see us at the Tuba City home office. Please don't do that. Thanks to our listeners, our sponsors, and our contributors. We appreciate you. Keep them coming in. You can send your feedback to feedback@talkingtotodd.com. Todd?
You said that you were watching in the rundown, it just said a House Flippers show. And I thought, that could either be on HGTV, or given the fact that the UK is having an election tomorrow, it could be a show about UK politics. Because there's going to be some house flipping.
There's some serious house flipping.
Dramatic house flipping going on tomorrow.
Yes. Nice. We will follow up on that next week. We're here. We're talking to Todd.
Unskinny bop, all night and day. Yeah. Unskinny bop, bop. She just loves to play. We should get Al Michaels to do that.
Unskinny bop. Nothing more to say.